Peace, family. What's going on with everybody today? Got the tank top on because your boy's fresh off a workout. I'm finally back in the gym. I used to be in the gym heavy. Like, if you go back to the very, very beginning of my YouTube channel, like to the first video, I think I was starting to do like a workout vlog at first. I only did like 2 of them. But that's where I started. I kind of fell off, haven't been working out, but I'm trying to get back to it. But yeah, if you guys want to check out that content, just make sure you stay tuned. I'll be posting the info for that later. I've also got my little super greens drink over here, which is pretty decent. Got like 23 grams of protein. So if you're into, protein shakes and working out, go ahead and hit the link down below for that as well. But yeah, in today's video, we'll be looking at godly inspired woke TikToks that will up your vibrations.
A lot of y'all here from different species, all over the universe. Not everybody here is star seeds of the Anarchy, but I can say for a high percentage, y'all from different species. But keep in mind, the Anarchy just wasn't. When you gotta make it clear that when you say Anarchy, it just don't mean one particular species, like the Anunim and Enlil and them. They were one humanoid looking species that was in the Anarchy. They had many other species that could be classified as Anarchy that was coming to Earth. That coming from Earth from Nubaru. There's 144,000 species, different species on Nubaru, right? From different tribes, different look different. Fish people, insects, different types of creatures.
Yo, so first off, the artwork on that one, banging. I really do like the artwork on there. But he said something about the 144,000 being different species from another spot, right? And I've never really thought about that because it kind of goes into play with a lot of things, like, for instance, Noah's flood, and they saved, a different species of, different animal, and technically we are animals. And what if the 144,000 was a species that they were talking about, which was saved from the flood? And we have 144,000 different species of people or humans on this planet. I don't know how true that is, but I mean, it's something to think about.
So now we at the part where the government gone, don't nobody know the government gone, and everybody thinking it's business as usual.
And it's not. And I keep saying that. The government is gone. Yes.
Yeah, it's over with.
It's gone, huh?
The whole America fiasco is over with. The international bankers, all that's over with. All of them been removed from their positions of jurisdictional authority. They have no power left. The problem is our people are in this trauma, post-traumatic slave disorder, when we were never no slaves. We was prisoners of war, but we wasn't slaves. They captured us and forced us to work on Big Mama house, take Mama out of Big Mama house and just call it the big house and force us to work and make shift because they used what was here.
I agree with that.
They turned our castles into prisons, asylums, and state buildings. They still here.
Yes.
Definitely.
They said there wasn't no royalty on the land because we left our castles to go fight the Gullah Wars. Ain't that some audacity?
Yo, that's crazy. And I agree with him there because, like, you see these old buildings in any town. Anybody watching this video, I want you to go downtown to your city, whatever city it is, and look at the buildings. They're going to look exactly like the buildings in the downtown area of a city, completely in a whole nother space, right? In my city, your city, their city, they all look the same because these people was here. And the timelines don't match up, right? You see these grand buildings, right, that was supposedly built by, we know who they're supposedly built by, in like the 17 and 1800s, right? But it doesn't make sense because if you go back, they had no material, no means of making these buildings. If you're following their timeline, they had just got over here. They ain't even been here that long. So how are they building these big buildings? Buildings that they can't even build today.
Out of everything you've ever done, what's the craziest experience you've ever had?
That's easy. Earth.
Earth? You went to Earth?
I did.
No way. You were a human?
I was.
Wow. Are the stories about Earth true? Were they really trapped on Earth?
Some were. I know because I was one of the volunteers.
Wait a second. You volunteered to go to Earth?
I did. I had to. I had family trapped on Earth.
But how could you get trapped on Earth?
You had to be there to understand. On Earth, you wouldn't remember anything.
What do you mean you wouldn't remember anything?
I mean, you would have no memory of anything. You wouldn't even remember existing before Earth.
What? How is that possible?
It was designed that way. It was brilliant. To dive as deeply as possible into such ignorance, such darkness, and still find your way back to remembering who you were, that took true mastery.
Wow. I still can't believe you went to Earth. Tell me more.
Well, Earth had its own set of laws that everyone agreed to experience, like gravity. What goes up must come down, like linear time. Day is followed by night.
Time? What's time?
You know how when we
what's
think of
time?
something, it manifests instantly? Well, on Earth, there was a delay. The delay is what made Earth so difficult.
Interesting. Time.
Hey, and what she said, how we used to manifest things instantly, right? I've heard that before, and it makes me feel like that's how a lot of these grand buildings and just like, for instance, the pyramids, that's how these things was created, right? Because we can't really find any way that they created these things. You could say slaves, but that don't even make sense to me. So what if there was a time where you can literally manifest this entire building and bang, instantly it's right there? That would be wild, wouldn't it?
So tell me more.
Before going to Earth, you would choose your family, whether you wanted to be male or female, what race you wanted to be, the location on the planet, things like that.
Oh, so you could choose your own character.
Exactly. You would enter the Earth as a baby and be completely dependent on others to teach you the rules. But since nobody could remember the rules, they made up their own rules, based on fear and giving your power away to others.
That doesn't sound like much fun.
It wasn't for everyone.
What'd you do while portions of you were on Earth?
I watched them. It was pretty funny.
What was so funny?
Here were these magnificent beings, playing the most unique and cutting-edge experience in the universe. And they were clueless.
I tried to guide them as much as possible. Wait a second, you could communicate with them? Yes, but they couldn't hear me. I would show them synchronicities, or send them impulses to help guide them, but they couldn't see the signs. Why not? They didn't trust themselves. So is that why they sent out a call for help? Exactly. Is that when you went? No, I didn't go until later. First volunteers, they had it the worst. What do you mean, had it the worst? Well, they killed them. What? They killed the volunteers. They killed them? Those on Earth couldn't understand what the volunteers were telling them. The idea that they were equal to the volunteers scared them. What were they telling them? Common sense stuff like, all the answers you seek are inside you. Everything I can do, you can do and more. So they killed them? And then they twisted the volunteers' message and created even more fear. What do you mean more fear? Like the message, God is inside you, was turned into, you are separate from God. The message, all the answers you seek are inside you, was twisted into, you can't trust yourself. And they believed it? It was out of control. How could they believe that? You had to be there to understand. Did you know they actually believed that they were the only intelligent life in the universe? Now that's funny. Pretty crazy, I know. So then what happened? The designers knew Earth was going to enter a section of the galaxy that humans had never experienced before. A section filled with a frequency that might be able to reconnect the human's DNA. What was wrong with their DNA? It didn't work anymore. The thing is, their DNA was how they connected with their higher self. So that's why your incarnations couldn't hear you. Exactly. But there was a catch with the new plan. Only those incarnated on Earth could tune in to these new frequencies. Oh, so they needed more volunteers. Yes, but this time they were taking no chances. To pull this off, they needed millions in the physical form, wired and ready to attune to these frequencies. Are these the 21st century humans that all the stories are about? Yep. We volunteered from every corner of the universe to help the humans wake up. What did the volunteers have to do once they got there? We had to wake ourselves up attune to these frequencies, and spread them to the rest of the planet. That sounds impossible. Most of those watching the Earth experiment didn't think we could pull it off. So, what happened when you got to Earth? Once on Earth, we were taught the same fear-based beliefs that had been handed down for eons. We lived just like everyone else, totally clueless to who we were and what was getting ready to happen. But as soon as the Earth entered this cloud of frequencies, we started to question everything. And one by one, we started to wake up. So the plan was working. It was. The more we trusted ourselves, the quicker we reconnected.
Sound like right now, don't it?
The faster we started to remember what was happening. And since we were spread out evenly all around the planet's frequency began to rise quickly. What happened when the planet's frequency began to rise? Humans' experience of time began speeding up. They started manifesting their beliefs faster and faster. Those consumed with fear created even more fear, and eventually Earth just spun out of control. What do you mean, spun out of control? These low-frequency beliefs that had controlled the human experience for eons could no longer exist, so they began to self-destruct, and the world fell into complete chaos. That sounds terrifying. It was for those living in fear, but for us volunteers, we all knew it was the end of the old energy and the beginning of the new. So then what happened? A tipping point was reached in our awakening, and we created a new Earth. A new Earth? What happened to the old Earth? It continued on, allowing those who could not let go of their fears to play out their lessons. But for us, we created a new Earth that matched our higher frequency. And as easy as that, all the fear-based beliefs simply fell away. In an instant, we remembered who we were. We knew we were all connected, and we stopped hurting each other. We started respecting each other, started loving each other. We took back our power to create, and we created a new Earth without fear. Wow, so the legends are true. What an incredible experience that must have been. Nice work. Thanks. So tell me, out of everything you've ever done, what's the craziest experience you've ever had? That's easy. Earth.
Hold on, it's replaying. Hey, y'all heard what they said. You know what I'm saying? Time for this new Earth. Y'all ready for new Earth? I'm ready for new Earth. Let's go.
Very important time we're in right now. And there's many souls that are coming in right now to be here for it. They volunteered to come. The call went out throughout the universe, volunteers to come and help. They have to be souls that are pure, that have not known violence, have no karma to repay, to come in and help raise the consciousness of those who are here. And these people don't know they're one of these. I find it out in my work, but they have no idea on the conscious level they are one of these who has volunteered to come and to use their energy to help raise the consciousness of the world. And I've been told it's working, because now the positive is beginning to overshadow the negative. And we are moving into a new world, and it's beyond anything you could expect. But it's too late to turn back now. It's in the process, and it is happening.
Yo, this new world, I don't know whether to be excited, because it's crazy right now.
All right, so
that's
let me
all I
tell you
know.
like this, right? So the name of the game is to keep you in your childlike state of mind, right? Because the longer you're in your childlike state of mind, you're interacting with your inner child, the less substance and mental fortitude you have, if that makes sense. The less protection you have here when you are tapped into that. And, you know, with children, they can be easily shaken, easily traumatized, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, these systems, they try to keep you in that childlike state of mind. They try to keep you kind of docile, kind of not knowing that much stuff. Try to keep you dumb, which in turn keeps you like young here. So if they successfully kept you in your childlike state of mind, like anybody could say anything out here as trigger words to traumatize you. And I'm not saying people can't, you know, if you're an adult, you can't get traumatized. What I'm saying is that it's easier to traumatize children than adults. Because like I said, children don't have that protection up here. So let me get to what I was really going to talk about. Talking about that Jim Crow. So you see what we've been taught about Jim Crow, and you see how when you say Jim Crow, that is a trigger. That's a trick. Those trigger words right there. Jim Crow. Yeah, that's a trigger word. And what that do is that trigger your fight or flight. They don't make you go into what the context is of the subject. We don't really have to worry about that much about Jim Crow because we all know that we're not our ancestors. We know that these days are not going to be the same as those days. We already know that. That's a fact. But if you can't get past that trigger word, what that does is that either instills fear or that instills rage. You don't see the distraction that's being pulled over your eyes because none of that stuff can happen, y'all. None of that stuff can happen. I see and I hear a lot of people talking about that Jim Crow stuff. If you a real person, that shit it's not happening. So with that being said, I'm just telling y'all, it's a mental game that we playing out here. It's a very, 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 very mental game we playing out here. When you see anything physical, that's like the first level. Because you can see what's coming if it's physical. Sometimes not. But when it has to do with your mental, it's a whole different story. You have to have protection. You have to have the knowledge of protection in that moment. So they bringing up Jim Crow right at the same time. Our people waking up, figuring out things. We waking up, doing genealogy, the awakening happening, it's up from here. But the trigger words, it's called mental regression. If they can successfully, if someone has like successfully traumatized you, right, and then they can find out what is the trigger for that traumatization that's going on in your head, they can possibly shoot you back into your childlike state of mind where you're not thinking for yourself. It's just you're going off instincts at the time. It's just either fight or flight, like I'm saying. It's like people want to talk about Jim Crow, but then nobody want to talk about Dr. Walter Plecker. They over here fighting against the universe, trying to stop something that's way bigger than them. So, hey, tell me what y'all think in the comments. Leave a like. Peace.
Average black person has over $40 million worth of melanin in their body. What?
That's
40
a lot.
mil what? According to an interview on Africa Global Radio, that melanin is $460.53 a gram. Who knew melanin was for sale? Every piece of metal, whether it's silver, gold, everything is already in our skin. But who knew they actually had technology to extract skin too? I heard it all.
That's crazy.
It's worth more than silver, gold, platinum, all the different precious metals out there. Melanin is worth more per gram. You can't make this stuff up. So this is cash value. So the next time you see a person who's thinking low of themselves, you can tell them your melanated skin is worth over $40 million. Seems like a good and a bad thing. The good thing is that you're worth a lot of money. The bad thing is what people will do to get that from you. You gotta be careful out here. Everybody careful. Be careful with yourself, careful with your kids, and keep that blam, 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 blam right there. You understand? Now, people in relationships protecting their heart, and out here in the world, you gotta protect your mind, but now you better protect your skin as well. It goes back to that saying, I don't chase money because I myself am the money. This is the proof of it in many ways.
Hey, did y'all know that? Skin worth more than gold. It's crazy, right? Hey, I tried not to talk so much during that video because in all honesty, I was locked in. That whole volunteers that came to Earth thing, like, it kind of blew my mind. Not gonna lie. But yeah, guys, these are some of the most godly inspired woke TikTok videos that I'm sure upped your vibrations. If you like the content, don't forget to subscribe, turn your notification bell on, and until next time, YouTube, peace.